I thought about being like, I need to lay down for a little bit. But
best to power through, I think.
Well, I wanted to bring this, like, the energy it deserves, because this was a fantastic episode.
It was a really good episode. We are both really weirdly tired, and we're not sure why.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show, your favorite pop culture podcast, where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more.
Yeah.
And as always, this is a spoiler show. I went until, like, this was an episode.
Yeah.
We're watching American Horror Story, double feature.
Episode 5.
Part 1, Red Tide. Episode 5, Gaslit.
Gaslight.
I don't know where to start. It just was really good. I was watching this and I was like, man. And again, I know we still have one episode left. Which
it could all fall to pieces.
I don't think it will.
I don't think it will.
Part of me is sort of like, how do we have more?
Yeah.
But there's just enough loose ends that I feel like need to be tied up.
Still, Evan Peters is still out there.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to check back in with him at least once. We haven't had a lot of Billy Lord, so I feel like
none.
I feel like there's one more Billy Lord coming.
Mm-hmm.
But we did get some resolutions for a couple of things, none of which were throwing Alma in the ocean.
Okay, but she's also like my favorite.
She's also, her and Ursula are kind of amazing.
Ursula's just human, right?
Yeah.
She's not. Ursula. Okay, Ursula's been my favorite. The way that, because this was called Gaslight, and that's what it's about, and the way she was treating Doris.
That was real. I know the difference between what is real and a dream.
Well, maybe, but anesthesia has a really long tail, and that shit stays in your system for weeks. My point is, things are gonna feel just a little off for a while, but don't get worked up, you know? As soon as you get back to civilization, get yourself a good colonic, and it'll just clear everything right up.
It was so, Lily Rabe is so good.
So good.
And I love that she was doing just straight drama.
Oh, like, yeah, she's in a drama show. She's not in a supernatural show.
No, she's doing Rosemary's Baby. And I love that it wasn't clashing with Ursula doing, like, low-key camp.
Yeah.
It just, like...
No, it worked really well together. Well, because it was, like, only we know Ursula was doing camp. Like, Leslie Grossman was doing camp. Like... in the show, Doris didn't know that Leslie Grossman was being campy, you know, but it was like, that was working out so well. And because it kept on also doing this like distorted audio like stuff. So that like when you're with Doris, you like only kind of hear. And I swear to God, though, that moment when she was like, oh, your breasts are leaking because the baby's crying. Like, Doris doesn't know that. That's basic biology that people should know.
Well, and it just, like, Leslie was so diabolical and how, like, she'd be like, oh, well, you still have, like, the anesthesia in your system. That could take weeks and all the postpartum. And, like, this episode was actually kind of scary. Like,
scary,
first of all, the gaslighting was scary. And I just think the pale men are, like, a very effective
creepy
boogeyman.
Yeah, they're pretty creepy.
And they really amped up the moving again, like, in this episode. And I think the thing that I've been the most pleased about, and it is still American Horror Story, so we do still get, like, you know, snuff film and, like, drag bar. So we go off in these weird places, but for the most part, it's been very streamlined and very sort of, like I was saying, that, like, even though Lily is doing high drama and Leslie's doing medium camp, it all feels like it's part of the same world. Sure. Nothing feels like it's come, like, out of left field on a Dr. Seuss vehicle. Like.
Oh, 100%. And that is often the issue with American Horror Story, is that there's always one weird clown car that you're like, and like shit keeps coming out of it. But this has been delightfully contained.
Doris
really
had the baby. It was a boy. The amount of times in this episode, I was like, oh God, oh God. And then truly nauseating watching Harry. I can't. Like, my stomach's gonna churn. The soiled laundry.
Yeah.
Watching him like draining it and just and the fact that weirdly the fact that there was so little made it somehow worse.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like full cups. Like,
yeah, but he put some in 4 different little paper cups. And then it was like as if he came back to himself and was like, oh shit, what have I done? And it's like, yeah, we know what you done.
I really came around on Tuberculosis Karen.
Same. Because for like the whole time I was like, well, God bless Sarah Paulson. At least she's got American Crime Story going at the same time, because what the fuck? But she really brought it around in this episode. She brought it around to a place where I felt sympathetic and I felt like connected. And
well, it's the screaming of the motherfucker that I can do without.
Sure.
When she's not doing that, like I like that she weirdly is this sort of gentle lost soul.
Yeah.
And it's like,
although her notion that she was going to be able to take care of this baby and taking care of the baby was going to make her take care of herself. I was like, no, Karen.
Mickey was like,
Mickey was like,
but again, pathetic, like desperate. Yeah. And it's like, there's a part of me that's always like, how do you get to this place? And then to see it.
Well, I want to know, because Tuberculosis Karen is on a whole other level. I want to know how you get to that place.
I don't know, but she's still just like I said, it ended up being this really interesting, really almost poignant, beautiful character where she still had this sense of like beauty and right and wrong and morality. And
whereas like everybody else has literally sold themselves for this like pill.
And there's just something,
including Alma.
Stop lying to me. Yes, Daddy, stop lying to her. I want her to take the pill so she can be one of us.
Alma's leading the charge. That is.
She brought it back up again this episode. She was like, I don't know why you want to keep mommy around.
She kept bringing it up. I did feel like there were several ways this could go, because I feel like the show was setting us up to believe that Doris wasn't really talented. Ergo, she was going to turn into one of these like creatures.
Yeah.
But there was also part of me that I was like, I mean, American Story likes its twists and turns. I was like, we could end up in a real American Gothic, like I said, like Twilight, like Edward Bella and Renesmee.
Yeah.
Like this, because they also sort of get like a slight makeover.
Yeah.
When they like drink the blood, and part of me wanted to see what Doris would be like, ruthless. Like part of me wanted to see her go through that.
Well, but that's the thing, is like Harry isn't even necessarily ruthless. He's doing this because he has to do it, and now he's doing it because he has to do it for Alma. And there was no way Doris was gonna be. She couldn't do any part of that, like of the decorating.
Well, she
already
was pregnant and distressed. I thought it was maybe like a red herring, but no, it was,
and it was immediate too.
It was. They were playing a little fast and loose with the rules, which is fine, especially when the rest of it's, we got 6 episodes and the rest of it's working so well. I'll let those things slide. But it just was truly, truly tragic in a way that the show only really kind of like winked at.
Yeah.
Like the scene where basically Ursula and Alma have to like convince him to put her down. Like he practically pulled what is it, Air Bud or whatever.
Like old Yeller.
Well, I mean, like the get out of here.
That's I think Harry and the Hendersons.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Just like all of her hair came out and just like, oh
again,
God.
So fast. And then they just like put her out on the street.
Put her out the pasture.
Some people have it, and some people don't. There is nothing more tragic, pathetic, and sad than a person with no talent trying to make it in the world.
And now because she also tried to stab the baby and eat the baby. And so,
like Alma's not going to in 5 minutes.
What is Harry going to do with this baby? What on earth?
Well, where is it now? Did Karen end up taking it? No, I guess she didn't.
Because she was about to get killed and then she took the pill.
Uh-huh.
And then she killed Mickey. Yeah.
And
which I honestly kind of liked. I thought that
again,
had like
they
poetic.
Really we liked Mickey the whole time. Like we liked
love Macaulay Culkin so much.
But they really ended up working, and the beauty of the episode, like that, the style really suited it when it's got tighter, more, like impactful, emotional driven storytelling. Then the like beauty and the aesthetics really were adding so much. The scene with Karen just painting on the beach when like Belle strolled in And again, the pale men were used really effectively all over this episode.
As henchmen, which I didn't realize they could be corralled so
I love
easily.
It though.
Yeah, no,
it was
good.
It was touching into the fantasy element, the magic element that I like so much. And it also felt like they were bringing in color more this episode. Like we had sunsets and the blues were a little bit more.
There was a lot of pink in that sunset. Yeah.
And so Karen, I guess, so did we get an answer as to whether or not she was talented? I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
She did her starry, she killed Mickey.
Yeah.
Did her starry night and then walked out into the ocean. And
slit her wrists with a
trigger warning.
knife.
I don't know if that's the kind of thing that we need to start doing. It was very, very graphic.
It was super graphic.
But also really sort of in that
well, it was happening on her own terms at that point because she was like, well, I don't want to kill people. And she was like, but I have to take Mickey out. So she took.
Well, it was romantic in that gothic, old literature kind of way. Like
Virginia Woolf drowning herself in the river kind of thing. But I want to know, does the blood work if it's from someone else who's taking the pill? I just assumed it was infected.
It all was happening very quickly.
That's true. It just happened. We're just accepting it.
It was more symbolic.
Yeah.
So poor Warner Brothers is now stuck with a Speed Racer extended universe.
Oh yeah.
Which I mean, without Mickey, that ain't going nowhere.
No, probably not.
Is that mostly it?
That is mostly it. At the end, Ursula and Alma were going back to the chemist to get more pills. Ursula still, I think she is barking up the wrong tree. She still is like, I'm going to have the best talent agency in Los Angeles. And I'm like,
I feel very much like that episode, early season 1 episode of Parks and Rec, where Jack Donaghy is talking about Kenneth.
30 Rock.
Yeah, what did I say? Parks and Rec, 30 Rock. Where Jack's talking about Kenneth, and he's like,
in 5 years, we'll all either be working for him or be dead by his hand.
I feel very that way about Ursula.
I agree for sure. I'm definitely there with you on that.
And I'm kind of hoping she comes out on top. I'm hoping that we get from her what I wanted from Sarah Newland in True Blood, where I weirdly wanted her to come out on top, even though it's not what she deserves.
Sure.
But I mean, doesn't she?
She is hustling for it.
But they did see Doris
eating a rabbit
in the cemetery. Very disturbing.
She's definitely going to get Lyme disease.
And there wasn't even a hint of melancholy in either of their eyes.
Nope. Alma is a little sociopath.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I was very impressed with this whole episode and this run. And I mean, barring what they do next week, I could almost even be done here.
Well, again, like you said, barring next week, this could easily be my favorite season of American Horror Story because it's so tightly plotted and
it feels plotted.
Yeah, it's plotted.
Yeah, where typically it's you could tell they had the first 3 or 4 episodes planned, and then they were like, well, I mean, let's
we'll see. Yeah,
spin plates until we get to where we're going.
Yeah, but this all makes sense.
It feels thoughtful. It feels like it's for something.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I guess I don't know. Are there any showdowns? I mean, because we still have Belle, we still have Evan Peters, Austin.
Yeah.
We still have Billy Lark.
Yeah, she's out there.
She's got to do something because she's only been in 2 episodes. So
yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'm excited for next week's episode. I think it'll be good. I'm also curious if Dennis O'Hare is going to play into the final stuff. I think that would be.
I feel like he has to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Cool.
Watch the space.
Yay. Bye.